What's good, y'all? It's about that time to randomly relate reverse rants, no hate. Okay, so Jake Paul knocks out this guy, Andre August. Don't know who the hell he is, never heard of him. Now, two things I want to point out. One is this: Jake Paul got the win, caught him with a hard uppercut, got him out of there. Now, this is a fight where Jake Paul, when he was being interviewed backstage, and the guy was asking about him and how, it's his motivation for this particular guy because nobody knows him. And basically, Jake Paul responded in the way of saying, like, this is a statement fight. He wants to show his skills and how much better he's gotten. See, the problem with that is this. This isn't someone that really can test you. So when they're talking about your quest to become world champion, you can't become world champion fighting these caliber fighters. But in this day and age of boxing, yeah, you can, because they can fix shit where people that don't deserve title shots get them because of namesake. Now, the fact that he didn't struggle with this guy, okay, that's a plus for him. He got the win, but this level of opposition, if any sanctioning body is looking at actually trying to get something worked out with Jake Paul at this stage in his career, where the way he's looking, who are you going to put him in there with? I mean, because worst case scenario may wind up being a situation for a guy like Jake Paul where you're fighting for a vacant belt or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And in fighting for a vacant belt, you wind up getting the title. The same way Rolly Romero moved up and got a title. Well, no, he fought a guy that was, nobody knew of but had experience and, did have some skill. But what I'm saying, they come in and having no fights at 140, his first fight's a title fight. That's what I'm saying. But same thing, where Jake Paul could end up for namesake. Oh shit, Jake Paul got a belt now, and listen, y'all. I mean, it's one thing to work your way up the ranks against ranked opponents, against skillful fighters. It's another thing to fight these nobodies and then impress people because you get a knockout, and then people going, he's back, he looks better than ever, and this is what they always do. You know what I mean? And so, I mean, when you think about it, it's like, he's doing what he's doing, how he progresses, that's all we can look at. But when you take what he's doing and what he's done and then try to make him into being like a legit, like really skillful boxer, what's misleading, like you hear people say shit, this is what I don't respect about people like Wilder, when they say things like Anthony Joshua was manufactured, or certain actual real fighters was manufactured. But then you guys will sit there, some of these same fighters, I can't say Wilder because I've never heard him say anything about Jake Paul, but other fighters have said the same thing about other pro fighters, that they're manufactured, they didn't get it the right way. Like even like Regis saying this bullshit about Devin Haney, but yet you motherfuckers will sit up here and give these misfits fighters all the credit in the world because of their business sense, their smart business sense. Fuck that. We're not talking about business sense. We're talking about in the ring skills. That's what we're talking about. And when you look at that, my thing about that is, well, if you really feel like this guy's improving, you're gonna shit on an actual fighter that's in the same seat as you. Just like Tyson Fury made an ass out of himself talking about Francis Ngannou versus him was a bigger fight than him versus Usyk. You know what I'm saying? All that bullshit that he was saying, but then at the same time, he goes in there and get embarrassed. Which, by the way, you notice how quiet Tyson Fury's been, right? Yeah. So at the end of the day, with all of what happened and what's been going on, that motherfucker need to get in the best shape he possibly can get in. See all the lies and bullshit and becoming complacent, caught up with his ass. So You know, he better be ready come fighting out against Usyk. So, you know, with Jake Paul, what he's doing now, if he improves to the point where he actually becomes a real deal fighter, well, he still need to work his way through the top 10 at that point. You know, not get in there and just get elevated and get boosted because of reputation, because of popularity. You know, we had certain champions. Deontay was one of them. Let's be real. He was a champion holding the belt, fighting guys ranked in the 400s and 300s. Yeah. For long periods of time. And then finally goes in there and gets in there with Ruiz and stuff like that. I mean, and this is all in the history books. So things like that. And it's like, when you call yourself a champion, man, and you call somebody manufactured and you was holding the belt, fighting guys that was ranked low. Yeah, but Aries, you got to understand, you got a late start. I'm aware of that. Just like AJ got a late start. And AJ was fighting guys before, you know, we talk about up into 10 fights in and even be up below, that Wilder wound up fighting years later. So that's what I mean when you call somebody manufactured. I mean, nah, you gotta look at your own career, man. Stay in your lane and focus on you, and then understand that these guys are all in the same seat you're in. And the point is, you want to know who the best is, and this is why you guys fight. But to, you know, talk, and then, you know, it gets to the point where the fight loses hype, it loses interest, and then if it actually does happen, more excuses come out of it now. And it's always like, you know, this type of thing when it comes to like people that have earned their stripes, they get criticism. But people who can talk a good one, like, you know, somebody in the comment section said something about Adrian Broner and Raleigh, right? And I said, yeah, it was talking about them two, like the build up would be hilarious. And I'm saying to myself, I responded to that too, like, yeah, you know, because I agree. Yeah, the build up would be hilarious. The problem would be the fight itself. And to be honest with you, like, Adrian Broner has slipped to the point, like, that guy, that old guy that beat Raleigh would beat Adrian Broner. Adrian lost his skills. Adrian just, you could see, like, he fell so far off the mark, man. Like, he's done. Shit, Raleigh would probably beat Adrian. Because Adrian don't let his hands go the way he needed to. That's why that last guy he fought, you knew that guy was a complete trash. You knew that guy was a complete just waste of time. Had no business in a boxing ring, period. You know what I mean? And so with Adrian, the fact he don't really let his hands go when he got shit coming at him, Raleigh would probably beat Adrian right now because Adrian's done. And so for him to land the shot that he needed to knock Raleigh out, he probably won't land it because he you know, when Adrian gets pressure on him, he's scared to throw punches, and he tries to be safety first. He throws punches just to create space. He's not really trying to land anything. He's just trying to survive. So yeah, and I could imagine people laughing at this stuff he's saying to Raleigh, people laughing at the stuff Raleigh's saying to him, but then the fight doesn't live up to the hype, and then it becomes like, damn, man, what happened to AB? Yeah. It's not even really a question that's hard to understand. Everybody knows ever since that Maidana fight, never been the same dude. And he made every excuse. You know, that loss is the best thing that happened to me because I found out who my real friends was. Lose again. That loss, you know, man, it's time to get serious, man. I gotta, you know, take things here. I gotta get my life in order, man. Lose again. It's Floyd's fault. It's Al Haymon's fault. Lose again. Everybody in the world, except my fans, fuck y'all. Lose again. Fuck everybody, even my fans. Like, everything other than it's my fault. Whatever went wrong, so-called went wrong, it's my fault. It's everybody else. So, you know, that's how those things go. You know, so people like that, they end up in those type of situations. But, you know, when you got a guy like this, and yeah, what Jake Paul has been doing has been financially successful, working for them. You see, they was in a much smaller building last night. There was a lot of empty seats in there as well. So he's in a position where, okay, you got this knockout, but against this Andre August guy, I don't know who the hell he is. And then two, I'm sitting here like, man, is that the motherfucker that was cheating with Jada Pinkett August? No, I don't know that guy. I don't know him. I don't know what the hell he does. What is he from this misfit boxing shit? I don't know nothing about him. But so for Jake Paul, he got that win. He should have got that win. That doesn't put him in title contention whatsoever. That does not put him in a position to even be considered to fight for a title. Especially when you got real deal fighters out there who can't get the break because of what? A lack of popularity. But they got the skills. Frank Sanchez, for example. You know, Carmelo Moulton, he's a up and coming guy. Doesn't have a lot of recognition right now, but real skillful fighter. So you're not going to take a guy like Jake Paul and psych me out to make me think that he's worthy when he's not. Now, he did what he did. He handled business. Salute to him for that. But at the same time, this is where boxing and this circus shit needs to stop, though. It's the talk about him becoming world champion and all this stuff. Okay, fine. But, it is what it is, man. I'm not going to cry about it. For damn sure. But just saying, watching this was like, okay, he did what he was supposed to. So what? Because he beat that guy. Now all of a sudden we talking about him versus Canelo or some shit like that. Him versus one of the Charlos or him versus fucking David Benavidez. No, he's not on that level. He's nowhere near that level. So every time I hear them talk about him and how his goal is to become light heavyweight champ of the world and all this stuff that they're saying, it's like you keep tying that misfit shit and what he's doing, with actual legit fighters as if he's already there, like he's in that, he's right there on the cusp of it. Like no, and that's where you gotta earn your stripes, man. You gotta prove yourself in that ring against worthy guys, Anderson Silva and all those guys. Come on, man. These guys are not boxers, and regardless, the fact of the matter is they were all at advanced ages, and Tyrone Woodley was just completely washed up and wasn't a boxer at all. And so the things that he started learning wasn't enough. And he won those fights, yeah. He won those fights. But, to just take a guy like Jake Paul and start making, like they make a bigger deal about his fights than they do with actual fighters, man. Like Chris Colbert has a rematch coming up with this guy, Rayo or whatever. And, nobody's really talking about actual fighters. This is my point. So when it's all about popularity, yeah, this is what you gotta blame yourselves for supporting this shit. But then you gotta look too and think, well, because if you look at what these people are doing and understand it, it's politics shit, man. And what I always say about politics, people say, but you gotta vote, you can't not vote and then complain. No, not voting is actually a vote. Because if you're not voting, you know what you're saying? I'm perfectly okay with the way things are. Simple. That's what you're doing. So when you sit up and you complain about what these guys are doing, but you're going along with the whole, I'm going to order the pay-per-view and I'm going to sit back and watch this shit and I'm going to complain and make videos and complain about the whole, but you ordered this shit though. So you understand what I mean? At the end of the day, y'all, it's a situation of earning your keep, not being given nothing because you're popular. Who has a big podcast out right now? You could take anybody with a big podcast, a big success. Okay, well, Joe Budden has a successful podcast. So what? Joe Budden going to say some shit about Anthony Joshua, and all of a sudden 2 months from now, Anthony Joshua versus Joe Budden? Oh, he's popular. He has a big following. Man, stop it, y'all. Stop it. And this is what Jake Paul was. And remember, he was even referring to himself as a YouTuber earlier. You understand what I mean? Because in case I lose, I want to rub it in. Nah, you should have never called yourself a YouTuber from day one, or accepted that shit from day one as a fallback plan in case you lose. No. my deal, my goal was to become a real deal fighter. I'm a fighter in the making right now, and what I do on YouTube is what I do on YouTube, but by no way am I here to play games. And more respectful, but it's a lot of games, playing games, but it was playing games, a lot of shit talking and just a bunch of meaningless nonsense, saying a bunch of stupid shit, just being a real ass about shit, a lot of immaturity and shit. But this is the day and age where people are super immature. And I promise you, my mom was saying the same thing to me the other day. She said, my God, when you were like 16, if I can remember, she's like, God, you guys are so much more mature than these 16-year-olds now. Complete difference. It's a huge difference with when I was a kid versus kids now. Even grown-ups. For every age group that you go through and you look, it's like, yeah. I see dudes out here with fucking snow white hair, sagging pants with one pants leg rolled up. Still trying to be 16 years old, but we were so much more mature then than what a 16, 17-year-old is. Just, again, when I was 20 year old now, completely different. They talk a lot of shit, and they think they're showing intelligence because they talk a lot. They're arrogant, they're cocky. They think they know everything about the world at 20 fucking years old, but at the same time, it's like you could just see that it's a complete difference in the immaturity. A lack of common sense. And I'm watching, and it's like, yeah, so that's who he appeals to. Because the shit that he does, it's not entertaining to me. It's just goofy shit. But, like I said, man, long as he earns his keep, he works his way up, and, utilize, like he's using his own platform now. So, doing that is fine. But, I just don't like when people have advantages. Not based on what they do in the ring, but popularity. I have numbers with my social media followers, with my podcast and stuff like that. It's like you take a fighter that won the Olympics, won the Golden Gloves and all that, versus a fighter who didn't. Well, his popularity, he's more popular because he's done these things. He's had more eyes on him versus a guy that just went straight to the gym and started training, started getting fights. So, yeah. That guy that didn't go to the Olympics, that didn't go to, didn't win Golden Gloves and all that, may actually end up being better or a bigger star later on. Might be a bigger threat, because maybe that person, he didn't get to do all that, but he's fighting consistently, he's learning, he's taking his training serious, and he's actually improved as a fighter. Those things can happen. But of course, when you have more eyes on you, where you come already into the sport, which is why when Wilder say these things about AJ, I'm like, does Wilder realize that he won a bronze medal, AJ won a gold medal? Does he realize that he fell short? He got the bronze, but yeah, AJ got gold. And so yeah, he came out the Olympics a bigger star than you did. So for all this shit you're talking about, the manufacturer, that you didn't get the opportunities, well, you also didn't get those wins. You understand what I mean? So yeah, you getting the bronze medal, you don't come into the fucking sport bigger than someone that got the gold medal. But not only that, you also find yourself in a situation where you're fighting a bunch of nobodies, but then you're pointing the finger saying that somebody who's a two-time unified champion are taking nothing but easy fights. And you turned that $120 million down, right? So, is what I'm saying. When people start talking, people start taking sides of who they like more, but they don't look at the reality. Like, nah, that's bullshit. What you mean the dude was taking easy fights? Why'd you turn it down? And he did turn it down, and he and Finkel both admitted it. So these are the things I'm saying. And this is going on between actual real boxers, but you got, like I said, these misfits guys, they come in and, it is what it is, man. But for Jake Paul, if he really wants to become light heavyweight champ of the world, and he's not just having these conversations and saying things just to keep attention on him and, doing what he's doing, and then using boxing to catapult what the shit he's doing, knowing that, whether he really wants to do it or not. That's what I'm saying. Really, whether he really wants to really be light heavyweight champ of the world or not, because you cannot possibly think beating a guy like that is going to give you a chance against somebody like Dimitri Bivol or whatever? I mean, Artur Beterbiev has slipped. I can see he's not the same fighter. He would destroy fucking Jake Paul right now. You understand what I mean? Like, so, at some point when you look at your resume, by the time you get 20, 25 fights in, you still haven't had a legit fucking actual fight. I ain't talking about no fucking Hassan Rahman Jr. type of bullshit. I told y'all that motherfucker wasn't that good of a fighter, and he's lazy and don't stay in shape. And ever since he got his ass kicked by that big 300-pound dancing motherfucker, you ain't seen Hassan Rahman Jr. back in the ring. You haven't heard nothing about him. He's been quiet as a mouse. So, he did have one fight after that. Supposedly one, and I don't know what happened. Don't even care what happened. Like, but that's my point. He just disappeared. So, we'll see what happens. I'm not really even looking forward to it. I just happened to see the fucking fight, and I watched it on YouTube and said, okay, I talk about this shit. So that's what Jake Paul want. He pushed the work in, and he earned his keep fighting the guys that he needs to fight to legitimately be called a real fighter. Yeah, but for him to get even in title contention, to jump over, to leapfrog over people just for popularity's sake, nah, that's weak. And I don't respect or support that kind of shit. So we see what happens. And I'm not really looking forward to it. But if he reaches that point and then it's worth even actually watching him on a card with legit fighters, and if that's how it comes, so be it. But just saying, nah, I'm not supportive of this popularity sake bullshit. Anyway, talk to me in the comment section. Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hair to people. And I'll catch y'all on the next video.